So, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has come out. It's arrived. And as someone who's never played the original and looking to get back into Assassin's Creed, I was excited to say the least to get back into the game. After beating it, I think I get the hype around Black Flag now. So let's start with the open world. This is definitely your typical Ubisoft open world game. It's gigantic, it's massive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's empty like sometimes it can feel in these big open world games. The world feels like it's alive and breathing, I ain't gonna lie. When you're walking around in the streets of a city, dude, there is a plethora of NPCs walking around. And they're not just standing there or walking around aimlessly. They're doing things. I don't know how they're managing to do all this in real time. They could be gathering around to listen to some music that they're playing. They could be doing activities like fishing, or even at the tavern they'll be sipping on some beer. It's just kind of insane the number of NPCs that are around you at all times. Or when you're going about like traveling across the map on your ship, you'll just see people, like ships, start fighting each other. You just see it happening before your eyes out of nowhere. Just 2 ships, 3 ships, maybe even 4 ships. They're just all in a little fight going on, and you can join if you want, or you can just keep going about your way. And then while you're going, you might come across an island, and on that island there's going to be some animals that you can hunt. It just constantly feels like there's always living things going on around you, like it's real, like it's a real place that people live in. Now, I will say, when traveling through the world in this game, sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, it does seem like the map is too big. Like, the world is too massive. That is kind of a weird problem to have, but sometimes I felt myself getting a little bored when sailing, because, traversing on a ship, not exactly the most speed-heavy, fast thing to do. It's not super engaging. However, though, when you are traversing and you can play these shanties, which is like music that your crew will sing, this might be one of my favorite things in the game, because, dude, some of these are like actual slappers. Lovely on the foreyard, she's lovely down below, boys. Lovely 'cause she loves me, that's all I want to know. The world also is jammed with so much side content for you to do. It's actually probably too much, to be honest. Like, I had to stop myself from doing the side content so I could make this video. There was like multiple times I would sit down, play the game for an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3, and not do one main quest because I just kept on doing the side stuff. There's that much. And a lot of these side missions that you can do, most of them have a reward attached to them, more than just your base money, like it has an actual reward that you're going to want to go and get. So, for example, there are these Templar hunt missions that you can do, and each one of those are going to have a self-contained quest line. And after you complete the quest line, you'll get a key, and once you complete all the quest lines, you'll have all the keys. Therefore, you get this armor set as a reward for doing all of it. So it's pushing you to do this side content because you're actually going to want these rewards. And like another example is these officer quests, which were not in the original, from my understanding. This is added on for the remake. After completing these quest lines for these officers, you'll get abilities for your ship, for the jackdaw. An example of an ability you'll get is this new attack you can do on your ship. It's called like a ram dash. You just basically spearhead into other ships. So the rewards really acted like a carrot on the stick for me. in that it just kept on making me want to do more of the side stuff, not even the main quest stuff. And on top of doing that, I wanted to explore more of the map. So speaking of exploring, this is Ubisoft. So you got your typical collectathon checklist crap that nobody really likes doing in these open world games. But even though there is that, there is a lot of cool activities that you can do in the open world. So you can hunt, like I mentioned before earlier, or there's another thing you can do. There's treasure maps in a pirate game. Crazy, I know, right, dude? Who would have thought? They are actually worth doing, and they aren't that bad to do either. It's not like a Red Dead 2 situation where you have to just mindlessly look for the treasure. You're gonna find a treasure map, and then at the bottom right of said treasure map, there's gonna be coordinates, aka numbers, and you have to follow those numbers. And you follow the numbers by looking at your cursor on the map. That's your coordinate. It's really not that bad, and it's actually quite nice. I don't have to just aimlessly walk around looking for treasure, because I don't know why open world games love doing that. And they made it even easier for you, because when you're next to a piece of treasure from a treasure map, Edward just essentially tells you,
"Where have I seen this place? If it's buried, it must have worth."
Another side activity you can do is go deep sea diving with these like bells. It's like a diving bell, and you can just find loot and stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, it's a looker. Like look at your screen right now. If you're on a different tab, this game looks pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, I just wanted to point that out. Like, dude, look at this. Another sea activity you could do is go harpooning. So you could harpoon sharks, which I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I was doing this, I kind of sucked because I did the hard ones first. Because how hard could it possibly be to do these little activities on the side? I got thrashed quite a lot. I won't lie. I stopped doing it until the end. I went to the easier ones. Yeah, not my finest moment. Now this is one of my favorite side things you do. There are these forts that you can invade, and they're pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie. You basically just pull up with your ship, do a little drive-by, pirate style, and take it over. Similar to the harpooning, though. I tried doing this too soon and tried doing on the harder ones first. It did not go so well for me. I would recommend upgrading your ship before you begin doing this. Yeah. Speaking of the ship combat, though, let's talk about it. Essentially how it works is wherever you look like your camera's looking, that's what you're going to use on the ship, the weapon you're going to use. So if you're looking forward, you're going to use these cannonball chain shot thing. I don't know what it's called. Basically just two chain balls chained together, and you're going to, that's what you're shooting. Look to the side, you're going to shoot your typical cannons, typical cannon things on a ship. And there's like an alternate firing type on there, which will decrease your range, but also do fire damage and increase your damage. So kind of a nice little trade-off, different way of going about it. That also, when you're using that alternate fire mode, it will allow you to use your swivel gun to like shoot more holes into their ship. You'll see on the screen. It's kind of hard to describe. Then, when looking behind you, toss barrels, essentially. You could shoot them to blow up. Nothing too crazy there. Now, one of my favorite ones is in the middle of your ship. If you hold the left bumper, or L1, I guess if you're using a PlayStation controller, it's going to use mortars, which are your way of doing long range attacks. Nice little way. I like doing it. I like using those to get a nice little jump on, your enemies before you start the fight. So there's a nice diverse way of going about it. Now, once you have a ship wounded and damaged, you can eventually board it with your crew and fight the enemy crew. Bro, look at your screen. I'm gonna play 20 seconds of gameplay and tell me this isn't aura. Once you're done just, clapping their cheeks, you got some options you got to make here. You got to pick from. You can either repair your ship, which, you know, self-explanatory. You repair your ship and blow them up. Or you can take the ship and use it in this fleet system thing they added. Or they didn't add it to the Resynced, it was in the original as well. But it essentially acts as a way for you to get supplies and money, the fleet system. So you can take their ship, promote one of your crew members, and they'll do that. It's a little cool side thing you can do. Or you could do the third option you could do is lower your wanted level, which, are you a pussy? I think not. Come on, bro. Just keep that wanted level up. Now, you also don't have to abort it. You could just, you know, remember how I mentioned you could ram earlier? Just do that. Just ram them. Now, I'm not going to lie. At first, this ship combat really wasn't clicking with me. I didn't really like it. It's kind of weird. But as I began to play more and start upgrading my ship more, it kind of grew on me. So, at first, I didn't like it. By the end of the game, I won't lie, it's one of my favorite things about the game. Especially when you compare that to the hand-to-hand combat, which I must say it's definitely better than the original AC games. Because I remember the original AC games, it was really just button mashing, break their guard, occasional dodge. You know, like the rock paper scissors, that's how people describe it, with a cool flashy finisher at the end. Here it's kind of the same thing, but not really. You can do some cool new things, like you can pull somebody towards you into a sweep, or you can pull them towards you and assassinate them. You can kick people. You can shoot. You can still like pull up your pistol, shoot people. There's still some cool stuff you can do, but for the most part, all you gotta do is spam a light attack with occasional dodge, with an occasional parry, and you're good to go. That's really it. The only good thing I will say here is the finishers are quite cinema. Some of these animations are crazy. Why is Edward sticking his sword in somebody's mouth? Let's start there. This is wild. Or shoving his sword through the back of their cranium into the ground. Or shoving both of them through their spine and ripping on it. Why are we ore farming, Edward? What are we doing? Or the finishers are also kind of dynamic, so you can hit a finisher next to a wall and Edward will just throw them at the wall and kick them or something. Like it's very cool. Or there was this one time I was playing and I forget, it's like a bridge between a ship and the ground. He just kept on, every time I hit a finisher, you'd put him on their back and toss them off. Every time. It was pretty cool. So it's cool how the finishers are dynamic and they're flashy. But overall, dude, the combat is just okay. It's serviceable. It's nothing crazy. Another thing about the combat is stealth-wise, it's just bad. It's just pure bad in this game. The AI is so unresponsive. They will just sit there and stare at you for a good 3 seconds. You can run up, assassinate them. End of story, right? It's not good. AI is not good stealth-wise. And mechanic-wise, I'm not even trolling, it really is this shallow. You hide in some hay, you hide in a bush, you whistle over, and this guy comes over, you assassinate him, and you hide him in there. That is as far in-depth it goes stealth-wise, which for an assassin game, you would expect maybe to have more stealth complexity in the game, you know, but it's a pirate game, so do we really care about stealth? Not too much. So it's just, you know, expectations. Don't go in expecting a stealth masterpiece. I would say that you're setting yourself up for failure there. Now, the story. I'm going to avoid spoilers because maybe you're like me and you haven't played this 13 some odd year old game. So I'm not going to talk about details of the story. I will say, the main thread though, like plot of the story, how Edward is he's a pirate who's going to do anything to get rich. That is really the main motive here for the story. He's just trying to get rich. That is all you really need to know. I do want to talk about the writing though, because when I was sitting there playing the game, it's kind of like a lot of writing in games now, it's really bad. Like, it's pretty bad. Type in Forspoken writing, and it's just some dude editing together a bunch of scenes. He did nothing fancy. and you're gonna see a million, 2 million viewed video of just their dialogue because it's that bad. And I remember I was just sitting there listening to the dialogue in this game, and they're doing a bunch of pirate talk and stuff, and never did it come off forced or weird. It just came off natural, and I don't know. It just I feel like that is like it's a lost art kind of nowadays. Just want to point that out. Good writing. Kind of need to mention that. I don't know how they did this, but because I know they added content, so Edward, the voice actor, had to record new lines. It sounds the same. Like you can't tell that he made new lines like in the past couple of years. I don't know how they did that. I don't know what engineering happened there, but that impressive. Now, even though I couldn't tell that through the audio quality that content was added, I will say in the content that they add, you can just tell that it's added content. I don't know how to describe it really, but there's just something like it's not like it's bad. Like the writing isn't bad, but you just know that that's added content when you're playing it. I don't really know how else to describe it. I mean, dude, I didn't play the original. I looked it up. I know that is added content after the fact, but when I was playing, I thought that was added content. It didn't seem to fit the vibe of the old, so I thought that was a little weird. Not necessarily bad. You could just tell. You could just tell. I also wanted to mention, dude, I really like Edward, like his character arc. Like I just really grew to like him as a character. Seeing his motivations switch from somebody who's just, yo, I need to get rich. I need to get rich. I need money now. I want to live the good life, to living for a cause, let's say. It was just a very cool thing to see. And then at the end of the game, no spoilers, of course, but at the end of the game, I was, oh, that's, I don't know why. I didn't really see that coming. And, I was just pleasantly surprised. Like, I really was happy with the ending of the game. That I'm happy I finished the game so I could say that in this video. So I just want to mention that, dude, Edward, I like that guy. There was also one thing they did that I thought was kind of cool. Edward's motivation throughout the game was money, like I said. And in almost all of the side missions that you do, Edward is always, how does this benefit me? I don't care about you. I'll do it for some coin, eh? Or like he always had it out for himself.
Good God, man, what's happened to you?
I cannot go on anymore. My brother, a traitor, that woman, Templar. I have no family, no wife of my own. What is the point of living? Let them kill me.
You don't know what you're saying, mate. Let's get you someplace safe.
What's the point?
The point is, I want my key. So I need you alive. I need your information, so I need you sober.
What vibe do you think that's giving off, huh? Bro, I don't care about you. I need you to be sober so I can talk to you effectively. I don't know. There's little things like that throughout the entire game. I really mess with it. I really liked how that motivation stuck throughout all of the game. Unfortunately, I feel like I need to say this at some point. This is a modern Ubisoft game, so of course they have this microtransaction slop in there, which, I mean, dude, I don't know. There was an article that came out that they made $1 million off of that microtransaction stuff in the first day. So you can understand why they put it in the game. It's just annoying though, especially because it's not just cosmetics. When you look at like there's gameplay effects that are locked behind this paywall that I have, like, come on. Or there's these glasses that show all the collectibles on the map. Like, it's just lame, especially since the game is so good. It's lame that stuff is in here to taint the experience. Another thing that just puzzles me is people are buying this. Why? Why are you spending money on microtransactions in a single player game to just speed run through it, I guess? Why else would you do that? Like, you get some money and stuff for all that money you spent, IRL money you spent, I guess. Okay, do you want less playtime? I guess, man. So I don't understand why, as a gaming community, we just shell out money like we do. It's pretty annoying. I really enjoyed my time with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, remake, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to go back and play more of it, finish up some of that side content I skipped out on to, make this video. It's just a really good time, dude. I ain't gonna lie. So I see why people love this game, especially the original, and I'm happy they went through and modernized it for people like me who have never played it, and I probably was never going to play unless they did something like this. And I'm happy that, those not old people, but the people that played the original, they get to relive those good old days back when they played Black Flag. And now they got some good momentum going with AC. Hopefully they keep it going. Hopefully they keep that ball pushing, because Ubisoft, they had a good one here, I won't lie. So if you're here at the end of the video, I appreciate you making it to this point. If you want to talk more about AC in the comments, I'll be down there. But that's about it, so have a good one.